Reddington Hospital, a part of the Reddington Healthcare Group, started operation in Victoria Island, Lagos, with a cardiac centre in association with the renowned Cromwell Hospital, London, in 2001.
Okay, so what we have here is a city console consisting of...
What began as a passion to provide the best in specialized cardiac care has now blossomed into the Reddington Multi-Specialist Hospital, delivering a robust first-class and comprehensive tertiary medical service.
So this is the console where we get to see the images generated from the CT scan.
Their operations include special expertise in cardiology with exclusive coronary and intensive care unit, renal dialysis, obstetrics and gynecology, pediatrics, endoscopy and day-care surgery, ophthalmology, ENT surgery, radiology and psychiatry, all supported by the latest technology. The Bank of Industry is a huge part of that story. The Group Medical Director at Reddington Hospital, Dr. Olutunde Lalude, speaks about the potential and challenges of healthcare in Nigeria and how the Bank of Industry's financing has positively impacted the sector.
We have a laparoscopic surgery program which allows us to do things like hernias, gallbladders, appendix operations using keyhole surgery. So for instance, we recently operated on a member of our staff who went home the same day, had operation in the morning, home in the evening, and was hosting a dinner party the following day. This was after a minimally invasive or keyhole removal of the gallbladder. Now, if you had to fly abroad, considering the fact that you were home the same day, and by the time this person was hosting a dinner party, the person going to India would potentially still be on the plane, on the way to India, to a strange place where their relatives can't. It's a new place they've not been to before. It's a different language, different food. Their relatives are not around. So we can offer a much shorter journey. And for that person to have to stay home, and for that person, for what it's worth, not to have to pay dollars, for instance. You pay in your own home currency. So I think there are many advantages generally for people to seek healthcare in Nigeria and for us to be able to offer the kind of standards that they would see elsewhere. The other thing to mention is that we voluntarily entered into a program for external accreditation. So we are actually accredited by COSASA. And when we first started out on this journey, we would not have passed because of the difficulties in passing or what you need to have in place. And finance has been crucial in us being able to upgrade to the level required for this COSASA certification. So it is a South African healthcare accreditation organization, and we've had that since 2014. I make a joke, and that is that if I wanted to make money, personally, I wouldn't invest it in a hospital. Because hospitals are peculiar organizations. They're highly complex and very expensive to run properly. And your profit margins are low. I would make much more profit by selling biscuits. Go and buy biscuits in the UK, bring them in a container and sell them here. That's the way to make money. So you can see from a bank's perspective, a bank is not a charity. Its objective is to make money, essentially. And hospitals are not great bets for making money, and you have to wait a long time. Whereas with certain other things, you can double your money, say, in 6 weeks. And that is where organizations like Bank of Industry come into play. Yes, I'm sure they are there to make money, but they have the they have the opportunity to take a longer term view. They're not looking for an instant return tomorrow. And also they offer much more favorable terms, which the institutions which are fortunate enough to secure funding from the Bank of Industry are better able to meet. So as I said before, if you have an interest rate of 25%, 30%, it's extremely difficult because when you look at the profit margin on your operations, globally it's about 7%. So there is a hospital in the US, for instance, that has $10 billion of revenue and has an operating profit of 400 million. So you can see how small that is in relation to its overall revenue. Healthcare is one of those fundamental things that border on national security, that we've got to have good healthcare for us to prosper as a nation. I certainly subscribe to health is wealth. There's no doubt about that. Healthcare is wealth care, because we need a fit working population for us to be able to prosper in the business and in our economy. The problem at the moment is that if we don't have a special intervention and we just leave it to market forces, we will have the situation that we have today, where most organizations, for instance, cannot access adequate finance because they cannot afford to pay the returns that would be required. Only government can make policy, and only government can enact laws. It can change the law. We can't change the law. So if you're looking at things like preferential duty, to say, you know what, if you bring in infrastructure to improve healthcare, if you do things to improve healthcare in Nigeria, we'll give you a tax break. Okay, so that is not the government directly putting its money into something, but reshaping the landscape in such a way that it provides an incentive for people to invest in healthcare. As a specialist center for women's healthcare, it's called the Breast and Gynae Center here in Lagos. And we provide breast specialist services and gynecology services, soon to be joined by obstetric services, that is pregnancy related work. We have a number of technologies here as well, and that sort of keys into the discussion about the impact of BOI. For instance, we have 3D mammography. So these are special x-rays of the breast, which we use for early detection of breast cancer. And the advantage of this is that it looks at it in 3D instead of the traditional 2D, which means that sometimes hard to find cancers are easier to see. You can slice up the breast like a CT scan and look at the individual slices, and it significantly increases the detection rate. The DEXA scan, which I mentioned earlier for looking at the density of bone, is housed here. We have things for looking at the service for early detection of cervical cancer, so for cervical screening. And we have other special machines, for instance, that can look at the cervix to detect cancer without invasion, without having to take biopsies. We also have some other units. For instance, we have an ambulatory care unit, which is not far from here, which offers dentistry, ophthalmology, ear, nose and throat, and endoscopy. We have a specialist cardiology center in Ikeja as well. And we have recently opened a new hospital in Lekki. If we're paying loans at 30%, then we have to pass on that cost to our patients. And part of affordable healthcare is having longer term finance arranged at lower rates, which means that the amounts that we have to charge to be financially viable are significantly less than would otherwise be the case. So we certainly have BOI to thank for that, because there are quite a few things that we would not have been able to achieve without the help of a bank like the BOI itself. I mean, our hospitals like the ones in Ikeja, for instance, are highly affordable and are at a level which most people, apart from catastrophic medical conditions, should be reasonably able to afford. And this is in part due to the source of financing that we've had from the Bank of Industry, because getting longer term, lower rate loans means that we don't have to try and recoup the money we used to build and to acquire infrastructure in a short period of time, and at a much lower rate, which means that our bills to our patients are significantly lower as well. So that has been a crucial part of us being able to offer our services at the prices that we do.
The Bank of Industry has a firm belief in this saying that only a healthy population can produce wealth, and that's why it has sustained its intervention in the health sector. And as you have just witnessed, the federal government has begun another round of disbursement of microcredit to traders at the bottom of the pyramid across the country. And if you're one of those who missed out in the first round, all because you didn't trust the government to deliver, well, here's another opportunity to benefit from the scheme. The train is on the move again. The Bank of Industry is saddled with the responsibility of managing the funds. And for more information, visit any of their branches closest to you or log on to their website at boi.ng. Remember, you can apply for BOI loans online. Just download the BOI SME loan app from the Google Play Store and follow the instructions. For further information, feel free to tweet at me at KAY Alayande. Now, previous editions of the program are all available on YouTube. Simply type BOI Weekly in the search area, and there you go. That will be our package for today. Many thanks for watching. I'm Kayode Alayande. Bye now.